Hey all, finally doing a video without the glasses, slowly coming out there. Anyway, T here, welcome back to my channel, and today I will be talking about Rosie O'Donnell's 10-year-old daughter jumping on the Hollywood bandwagon and coming out non-binary. And I will say this, I do respect Rosie as a person. This is not a video to go hating on Rosie or her parenting skills or anything like that. But at the end of the day, I do believe there's only two genders. And whether you're male or female, there's infinite ways you could express your gender. If you're a girl, you don't have to wear makeup. You don't have to like wearing frilly dresses. And if you're a man, you don't have to be into football. You don't have to be like super aggressive, and you're still a man. Like, when a woman says she's non-binary, it seems like she's ashamed of her womanhood. Like, why are you trying to deny your womanhood? And it seems like there's a lot of that in Hollywood these days. Claim to be the most liberal, progressive people, those people in Hollywood, but then, oh, you're a bigot if you have a different opinion. Or they love to do everything possible, basically, to erase women. And, yeah. I am not pro-Hollywood. No. So let's get into it. I will start with what Rosie has recently said, and let's react.
Their gender, well, they said to me, Mommy, there are some kids in my class who don't even know their gender. So like an idiot, I say, tell them next time they're in the bathtub to look down. If it's a hot dog, they're a boy, and if it's not, they're a girl.
Which?
Then she says,
yeah.
They say, Mommy, that's their sex. That's binary.
And notice how she said she. Rosie, just because you're a gay woman does not mean you have to change your speech to fit with a new age ideology. And I think you had it right the first time. Especially when you talk about kids that are still in grammar school. I mean, that's really some Hollywood brainwashing right there. What they're doing to kids now in Hollywood, it's just so much insanity. Most people, when they talk about gender, I think they're talking about personality, how a person presents themselves to the world. And still, like, there's a million ways you could present your personality, but that does not mean you suddenly changed your gender. If I suddenly got super masculine, it would not change the fact that I'm still female, I'm still a woman. That's just the reality of it. You could say, well, you're very privileged, you wake up every day and you feel like a woman, your sex and your gender match. I don't always feel like a woman, honey. I mean, I'm not saying I feel like a man, but if I was woke, I would probably be one of those people calling myself a they, them, when in actuality, I'm just a strong-minded female. So, anyway, let's continue.
I'm talking about their gender, and gender is infinite.
Not to pause it again so soon, but gender is infinite. I don't think a 10-year-old would come up with that on her own. I'm thinking that either somebody put that in her head, they told her that, or maybe she's spending too many hours on social media. If this was my daughter, what I would probably feel like is I would probably feel like, okay, I need to get her off social media. I need to get her out of Hollywood. And I'm pretty sure after a week of no social media, she would be fine with embracing her femaleness. It's as simple as that. Kids want to follow trends. Kids want to fit in. They want to fit in with their peers. If she hears other kids saying, I'm a they, them, or it's trendy to say, I don't know my gender, and her mom is this big Hollywood icon, she probably just is trying to fit in, and she's coming up with things. And I mean, personally, I'm not on board with it, but that's just me. Anyway, let's continue.
Gender is infinite. Where does a 10-year-old get those words?
Do you have any idea?
I have
Is
no
there someone
idea.
in their life that...
No. And I said to her, where did you find that? Where did you say? She said, some things I just know.
Some things she just knows. Sounds like Hollywood brainwashing to me, honestly. It really does. Again, that's just my opinion. Just too much time spent in Hollywood. Anyway, I think Rosie had it right a year earlier when she did a video with, and forgive me if I'm butchering your name, Mayim Bailik. How do you actually say your name? Okay, I think she had it right a year ago when she did her interview with I think I said your name correct, Mayim Bailik. Anyway, sorry about it if I didn't. I think Rosie had it right a year ago. She said something that really made a lot of sense when her and Mayim, they were doing a video together where they collaborated, and let's get into that video.
There are some kids in my class who don't really know their gender. And I said, well, how could they not know their gender, honey? They go to the bathroom. They're a boy or a girl. Mommy, that is not your gender. That's your sex. Your gender is who you think you are. And I was like, okay, all right. Well, what are we doing? And then she told me a long time ago at Christmas, she told me that her stuffed animals were non-binary.
Yeah, so as you could see, this started even earlier, this non-binary trend. And I mean, it's very popular now in Hollywood. You have so many celebrities whose kids are coming out non-binary. It's really a trend, and young children, they want to fit in. They want to make friends. It sounds like she's just jumping on the Hollywood bandwagon. I mean, this was already in her mind a year earlier, saying that her stuffed animals are non-binary. Okay.
I'm like, here we go. Here we go. And I said, okay, well, what does that mean? She goes, they don't feel like a boy and they don't feel like a girl.
That's me most days when I wake up. I'm still a female. And if you're one of those people watching this that you're like, oh, you don't feel like a boy or a girl sometimes when you wake up, should I call you they, them? Then get off my channel right now. I'm keeping it classy, but really, gender is not a feeling. I'm a woman because that's my biology. There's no changing that. When I wake up in the morning, that's who I am. When I go to bed at night, that's who I am. There's no changing this. And it's not a bad thing. You have to learn to love who you are. So let's continue. I said, well, that's fantastic. Do you know what's funny is that I'm a girl who people used to call a tomboy because I liked all the boy stuff when I was little. And you know what's weird? I still do really like the boy stuff. I like football. I like riding a motorcycle. I like to do a lot of stuff that boys traditionally like to do. But, and there's nothing wrong with that, Rosie. You're still a woman, and that is fine. And there's nothing wrong with being a tomboy. I didn't want to make this channel religious, but I'm going to pray for for your daughter, Rosie. I'm gonna pray for her. And YouTube, please don't ban me for not saying they, them. That's a little crazy when YouTube, I've heard it from like other YouTubers that I've watched, they say that they could get banned if they don't refer to somebody as the preferred gender. Freedom of speech. Alright, let's continue.
You know what else? Never was confused about thinking if I was a boy or a girl.
Oh, exactly! She was never confused about whether she was a boy or a girl, Rosie. She knew she was a girl. She's a lesbian woman. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with embracing your womanhood, ladies. I think also Hollywood over-politicizes the they-thems. They want to try to control how people speak. And in fact, shout out to Finding Sky, one of my favorite YouTubers. I think she said it just perfectly. Let's take a look at her clip.
If you're a they-them crying over being misgendered, good fucking luck because you're gonna need a lot of it. But don't worry, Zer, because you can train this kind of fortitude by forcing yourself to do hard things that you don't want.
Exactly! Exactly! It would be like me having a mental breakdown if somebody says, you're not bi. Okay, so that's how you see me, that's fine. There actually are people that have said to me, they've either said, you're really lesbian, there's nothing wrong with that, there's nothing offensive about that. There's also people that believe I'm really straight, and there's nothing wrong with that either. So this was my reaction to Rosie's daughter coming out non-binary. I do think it is a trend. It is what it is. I think there's a lot of influences from teachers, from schools, from materials kids are given. If you type in woke TikToks, you'll see there's a lot of teachers now that even ones that are teaching young children, they'll say, what are your preferred pronouns? And as I said in another video, that would confuse the out of me if I was in school today, because like, I don't know, I always found learning pronouns confusing as a kid, and I don't know if I was being raised in today's times and they were saying, and somebody was saying, what are your preferred pronouns? I would probably be confused. And one thing I would sometimes do as a kid is when I would be unsure of something, I would get nervous and then I would just say, okay, yes. And probably if a teacher would have said, are you a he, him? Are you a they, them? I probably would have gotten confused and I probably would have said, yeah, you can call me that. But meanwhile, I wouldn't have known what the hell he or she was talking about. Anyway, that is all I have for tonight. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for the support. And much love to you all. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!